Welcome to the Montana Lifestyles Podcast. My name is Tim Lee. I'm doing a little bit of painting right now, so I got my bib on and whatnot. Tyler knows the drill, right, Tyler?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I want to talk to you about something really quick here, Tyler. You have a very, it must be an entrepreneurial spirit.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
To go from, starting a gallery at how old?
23.
23 years old.
Yeah.
And so you had this gallery.
That was 10 years ago.
Yes. And then now you had the Billings Gallery for quite some time.
Yeah.
And then closed that to continue to pursue your art, right?
Yep. Yeah, closed it down in October, and I'm just kind of doing art full time. Needed to take a little break for a little bit.
But here's the part that I really want to get to. Mm-hmm. You have surrounded yourself with the most amazing, amazing group of people, and you have you know how many people would kill to have what you have in those group of friends.
I know. Yeah, I'm very blessed. A lot of it, I have to say, centers around being friends with Daniel Keyes.
Yeah.
But also being friends. Then a couple of years into it, I think in 2015 or 2016, started to become really good friends with Ken Yaris. Mm-hmm. Of course, Ken is sort of the golden child of Great Falls during
he does a great job
during Western
here.
Art Week. Yeah, he's absolutely the most fun person to be friends with, to talk to at an art show. He's so I admire him so much, and have just had so many good things come my way because he and I became friends. And so
And I gotta say that's the thing. I mean, so let's rewind back a little bit. In August is when I think I met you last. I feel like we might have met beforehand. Before that, I'm not sure.
Well, I just remember meeting you here a year ago, and you were doing caricatures.
Yeah.
Did we run into each other in August?
I feel like we might have run into each other beforehand, maybe before that. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But the thing that is amazing is just who you've surrounded yourself with, and I got to tell you that you do not realize what the legacy is that you created and how that has affected me personally. Because the fact of the matter is, the people that you've surrounded yourself with have very much accepted me into your group of friends.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so much so where I'm driving home last night, and Kuala and her husband literally pull up beside me, and she's waving out the window at me. And what you have done in such a benefit towards your gallery, it still blesses people outside of it, even after it has closed.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for just what you have done in the artistic world as well, but on the personal side too.
Oh, thanks. And it's kind of weird with the gallery being closed. At least it's closed sort of in Billings in the way that I had it.
In the brick and mortar per se.
Yeah, but we'll kind of see how things go. I just, after 10 years of doing it, I needed a break.
Yeah.
But as long as this group of friends wants to keep doing this show, we'll continue to do that. This year, what was kind of cool was I actually wasn't really planning on doing this show, but some of the artists called me up and asked if we could do it, and I said, yeah, I'll do it, but if everybody just can
chip in,
split the cost, the gallery won't take a commission, so we'll continue to kind of operate under the banner of Montana Gallery. But I think I've learned over the years that I'm really not a business person.
You're an artist.
You're an artist. I am more so this bumbling sort of like kind of wandering my way through life, and
that's what we're all doing,
I was
Tyler.
A really horrible retail shop owner is what I'm trying to say. So just being an artist, I was dealing with a lot of, I think, kind of anxiety around feeling like I wasn't doing a very good job of representing and being responsible for the people that I'd made a commitment to as a gallery owner.
Right.
And so, anyways, it's just better for me to just be an artist.
Yeah.
And anyways, do that for a while. But Montana Gallery and this group and everything, maybe it will still kind of live on forever. I don't know. For however long I'm alive, and these people are alive.
All the same, though, I am a firm believer that all things happen for a reason. And some things might not go according to plan. Some things might not have started, where you have a great idea and then you find out reality of what that idea actually entails and how much it takes away from your personal life.
Yeah.
Owning a business stinks half the time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's tough.
But the thing is, you're such an incredible artist. Just looking over your shoulder as you were finalizing a sale last night of a beautiful landscape of Billings.
Oh, yeah.
I recognized it
Oh,
from
thanks.
a mile away, but on top of that, I love the purples, the pinks, the colors that you had in that made it that sunset that is so obviously Billings.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
You killed that, and your work in itself is amazing. I want people to come and see you, but the thing I do love is that you have continued, because of them, to set up that gallery space as you have with Amanda Markle, with all the amazing folks, with Troy, with his wife, and with Ken, the whole team.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's amazing what you've done.
It's very blessed to get to be a part of it.
Yeah, or start it.
Yeah.
What was your initial inspiration for getting into the world of art in the very beginning? I mean, it sounds like you've been doing this for a lot longer than many people have, considering you started in your 20s on owning a business, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. My grandma was kind of everybody actually in my family is somewhat artistic, and my mom, she's got a jewelry booth. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that she's here.
She's the jewelry booth right across from our.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah, we asked to be side by side this year because she's been doing this show for over 25 years or something.
Wow, it does run in the family.
She was doing jewelry over at the Heritage Inn with Gary Temple and his gallery, like way back 25 years ago. Anyways, she I remember coming to this very venue when I was probably 13 or 14, and I rented a space and did caricatures, which we have that in common.
And he drew a caricature of me. I made him draw a caricature of me. I still have it. I still have it.
Well,
Tyler.
and I have yours too, and
we had fun that day, though.
Yeah, Tim did all these amazing caricatures of everybody that was in the group last year at this show, and so
I gotta add to that story a little bit more personally. I was enjoying chatting with another artist, and I was thoroughly enjoying myself, but then I had not realized that I had become a nuisance. And so they had very kindly, one of their friends walked up to me and let me know that I had spent too much time in that booth without buying anything. Yes. And
one of our... Who?
No, not yours at all. It was someone else entirely, but the thing is, I then came over and I walked over to you guys.
Okay.
And I was chatting with you guys, and I was having such a wonderful time. Next thing you know, I'm drawing caricatures of all of you guys, and I spent, it had to be like 2+ hours hanging out with you and your friends, and it took that moment of feeling very embarrassed in that moment, and you guys turned that into a beautiful
cool.
A beautiful thing, and getting to spend time with you and all the friends that I made out of that. No, and that's why I'm saying thank you, because you don't realize how much you have affected my life and how much you affect others just because of that. Just because of that. And so they made a day that was wonderful, went a little wrong, and then turned into something amazing after that.
Cool.
Just an absolute blessing. Absolute blessing. So and so that's why I keep bringing it back to the personal side. I mean, I need to highlight your art and talk about your art and all that sort of, but you've affected me personally too here, brother.
The art's whatever.
The art's whatever. So tell me a little
bit. Life
is
about relationships.
It really is.
Friendships.
It really is. But you've given me so many without knowing it, and I appreciate that. Kenneth is a king among men. As you said, the king of Great Falls, per se.
Basically.
Yeah.
And
Amanda Markle is ready to share
oh my God, she's killing it. She's one of the most popular people, in our booth and at this show. And like, I think I told her a couple years ago, like, I can just tell you're just going to be one of the
greats,
like one of the greats in this genre of art that we're all a part of. So. Yeah.
What calls to you in your art? Because I mean, something like the great the Billings landscape that I saw is something that would scare so many people away because of the amount of detail or what. So
Sure.
what do you look for when you're looking at painting something?
Lately, I've been drawn to painting just like scenes just before the sun has risen or just after the sun has set.
Yeah, get
And
that
you
golden
get,
hour.
Yeah, you get really nice color in the sky,
Yep.
and it actually kind of simplifies all of the color then that's in the landscape. It kind of brings it all into a harmony. So that's sort of been, I mean, Richie Carter, his work
His work is awesome too.
has been really inspiring to
Yeah.
me over the years, and of course he's one of my best friends too. And so I've gleaned a lot looking at his work,
Yes.
and just asking him point blank, like, what is it that you understand about skies that I don't,
Yep.
that you think that other people don't quite grasp?
Yeah.
And honestly, that was a big, in painting, and you kind of get these different moments where something gets disclosed
Right.
to you.
Right.
You suddenly kind of understand
It clicks
in a
in.
new way, and
Yeah.
that's happened maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in significant ways over the last 10 or 12 years. And a recent one is just that understanding kind of the sky at that time of day. Actually looking up even how light works.
Yeah.
How sunlight actually,
Bounces off of everything. Bounces off of the atmosphere itself.
how it travels through the atmosphere.
Yep.
At that time of day, it versus during the middle of the day, light and the wavelengths, it has to travel through more atmosphere,
Yep.
and so the blue wavelengths get scattered out.
Yep.
But so you're not seeing the blue at that
Right.
when the sun is low on the horizon like that. And
Or the
anyways,
pollutions in the environment, and I mean, I would say the Billings has that on a certain side of town and things like that. So you get those dispersals and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, and that really is awesome. Now, what kind of brushes do you like to use? Do you have a certain brand that you go for?
I have not been very picky over the years, but I am becoming more so. And of course, like probably most people, if you ask them,
Rosemary and
Rosemary,
Co?
yeah, Rosemary is they've got great brushes. So
Yeah.
I would say, especially like their Eclipse combers.
Oh yes, yes.
The really soft brushes and some of those long-haired Eclipse combers. I actually would probably do the majority of my painting with just old-fashioned hog bristle brushes, and those can be bought kind of anywhere.
Yep.
But then to have a few really nice brushes that you take really good care of for just certain effects, maybe once you've gotten the meat of the painting
Right.
onto the canvas, having some of those really nice tools.
I like the Tischler brushes. Have you
Oh,
tried
yeah?
those and the evergreen brushes from Rosemary?
No,
Those are really nice. I haven't done well with Hog's brush. I haven't.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not thinking texturally enough just yet, but I find that you gotta get a lot of paint on those brushes to really lay it down.
I think I feel comfortable with them because they're kind of what I started with.
Okay.
And my painting mentor, that was basically what he used all the time. And just, I gleaned a lot from watching him paint, and the aggressiveness that he
Yeah.
had toward the palette.
Yeah.
And that confidence to just grab a daub of paint with that hog bristle and just really quickly mix it up and get a really big pool. That's kind of how I work at the beginning stages of my paintings. I'm just as fast as I possibly can, paint like a madman, and
Try not to
and-
let it get to your brain.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
sort of be playful with it. Don't really
Overthink
critique.
it.
Yeah, don't really critique it too much. Just try to get color relationships.
Yeah.
And then step away from it for a while, and then I come back and I kind of look at it with a more analytic
Yeah.
perspective later. Yeah.
And so now, when you got your training, when you were up and coming, what was the conversation that you got? Because you hear so many people that would say, "I got critiqued for not putting enough paint on the canvas," or vice versa. What did you get when you were coming up?
For critique of
And
my
yeah,
work?
of that sort of stuff.
Oh man.
Teach the newbies like me who've only been painting a year, and whatnot. What are the things that you would keep an eye on that you would say, hey, here's some things,
Yeah.
Especially being a gallery owner and seeing so many, you have to pick these people and say your work is worth being in my.
Oh well, that was mostly to do with relationships and do I want to actually spend time with this
You want to
person?
put up with this person?
Yeah,
My gosh, yeah.
that was mostly what was the decisive factor. So that maybe that would be what I would say to anybody is like, like galleries want to work with people that are enjoyable to be around, and that can happen slowly over time. I mean, just showing up to art events,
Yeah.
kind of just being a presence at these different things, being a generous person,
Being helpful, be the fly on the wall.
being helpful, doing the stuff like that you're doing, where you're showing up in a way, going, how can I add to what is already?
How do you give and not take?
Yeah, all of that, and because there have been I'm trying to think. I mean, even my friendship with Ken was maybe a little bit. Now that I think about it,
He really hates Ken.
well, yeah. I remember Daniel, like a lot of the friendships with Ken and Richie and Nate and Forrest came through taking workshops from Daniel that I was hosting. So it was kind of a funny joke of like, you have to pay to
pay to be in the friendship.
pay to play kind of thing.
Yep.
And I kind of forget about that, but like, it's that first sort of gesture toward that can be really helpful. But anyways,
The skin in the game. The skin in the
skin
game.
in the game.
And that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
You got to prove yourself. Not only here, the topic of discussion that comes up here is, hey, if this is your first show, don't expect any sales because you need to show that you have skin in the game.
Yeah.
Per
Right.
se. And so, but the same thing holds true with friendships. Do you want to hold a friendship? Prove to me that you have skin in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think art connects itself to friendships in life in many more ways than people actually expect.
Yeah.
Or aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far. And then I'm curious, what kind of paint does Tyler Murphy like to use?
It's not good. I don't know. It's I for a lot of years used bad paint that hopefully doesn't come back to haunt me too much.
Oh no! Trust me, I'm looking at all these and I'm going, please stay on the canvas for the rest of your eternity.
But anymore, okay, let's see. A lot of times it's just Winsor and Newton.
Good choice. I'd use Winsor and Newton, so I'm going to accept that.
And then
It's the best. Okay, simple as that.
but there's certain colors that come from other
Reach
brands.
the Gamblin lines or.
Oh, what is it? Michael Hardy in like. Is it Michael Hardy? I think it's Michael Hardy in like transparent oxide brown.
Okay. Yep.
That's a great color that I didn't use for years. I don't know why. I don't know. Lately, though, the quinacridone colors...
The quinacridone, magenta, stuff like that.
Quinacridone red has almost replaced cadmium red on my palette.
Nice.
But
Well, you can
I
mix
don't
a
know.
lot out of
I
quinacridone.
just change. I don't know. If you ask me, each year, I'm always moving from thing to thing where I constantly think I've found the end-all be-all of this is the way that I'm going to paint for the rest of my, and then it just changes.
But isn't that how life is in general? Your life continues to change, and the things that you invest yourself in change over time as well.
That's why I could never get a tattoo.
Exactly. I know exactly how you feel.
I just know that I'm fickle enough.
You're going to hate it after. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's something I think this is everything.
Yes.
Within a couple years, it's like, actually,
can you scrape it off?
Not really.
Yes, exactly.
So.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I'm a guy who has, I'm going to say, who's blessed with ADHD.
Yeah.
So things that I invest myself in, hone myself in,
Yeah.
give that 100% of attention to, suddenly,
Yep.
where'd that what?
Yeah.
And yeah. and you find yourself going down another path, another road. Your life has changed, in a different direction. I get it.
There's something, Daniel and I were talking, though, about how there is something about what's the things that you continually come back to
Yes.
in your life.
Yes.
And maybe then, take that seriously, hone in on that, and
Yes.
go, there must be something to
There's
this.
a purpose
and so,
to this.
Yeah,
Yes.
So, and definitely, I want to know more about what you've been doing, Tim, like what your story and painting and what's
Well, this
what you're-
podcast is about highlighting everyone else, Tyler.
I know. But you've got really good drawing skills, and I mean, you understand value and color and light and all of that. And
Well,
that skull right there is really nice.
thanks, man. I'm inspired by. I am very inspired by you and your group of friends.
Oh, okay.
And that is a fact. There
Yeah.
are so many amazing people in this show alone that have directly affected my following steps in art.
Oh, cool.
And when it comes to my background, that simplifies everything. Is I was a caricature artist at Disney, obviously.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the problem that I faced as being a caricature artist at Disney was simply the fact that I was working at the highest of color points and saturations that I possibly could. And I did that for 10 years. And so for a trained artist, that's wrong in every way, shape, and form. That's wrong. But I was so trained in that because Disney is like make everything bright, make everything
Yeah.
vivid.
Okay.
In the caricature world where I was working, we were dealing in watercolor. And so, lots of saturations and stuff. So then when it's like, hey, you should consider oil painting, you consider doing this, I went and I looked at individuals like yourself and all your cohorts, and I'm going, I'm an idiot. Because I've always stayed in this high point. Okay, when you open up Photoshop and you open up the color picker,
Yeah.
my dot would always be at the very top of the
yeah,
color picker
yeah.
in every color and every form, and I was known for being vivid, but no, I was missing the importance of the beauty of lack of saturation in the shadows. I always used warm shadows in everything I painted in my caricature world of 10 plus years, and so stepping into this world and looking at art now from an oil painting perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, my land. And it's the quick smackdown of I've been doing this wrong, and I've been known for this for 10 years.
Okay.
I somehow sold it, and I don't know how I sold it, but I did. And so, to come here and be like, okay, I have a lot to learn. I have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Is really awesome.
Yeah.
And so my last year has been really enjoying everything that I thought I knew and had no clue about.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of art, exactly like you're saying. I invested my whole life. I was known for something. I was in the world of, and it's going to sound really weird me saying this next, in the world of drone racing.
Yeah.
Okay, the little quadcopters.
Yeah.
These guys would fly these things, do loops and all that sort of stuff. I did a caricature of one guy, and he went and shared that, and for the next 3 years, I had a backlog of a year
Whoa.
to do caricatures for drone pilots.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing incredibly well. I was stressed. I could not keep up with the money, and I burned myself out to such an extent where I had to run.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and you know that feeling. You
Yeah.
know that feeling exactly. And so, and to such an extent, it felt like, I've been through the war. I'm out the other side. I don't even want to talk about caricatures.
Yeah.
I just don't even want to think about them. The stress level. I gave refunds back to everyone who was waiting in line. I'm sorry. I just have to. I gotta back up.
Right.
And so, I hit that high peak of making a ton of money, doing really, really well, staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning, and then having to be at work at 7.
Oh, man.
And literally just going through the ultimate burnout.
Yeah.
And then leaving all of that, and then coming to this and being like, wow, I was doing it wrong. Which is why you go, when you look at art, you go, there's no rules to art. It's a fact, because I was selling stuff that technically was not correct, everyone loved it though, and that's
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah.
And so that's wonderful when you can step into another art form and go, wow, I've just tripled my knowledge, quadrupled my knowledge, and I can take that and go even further,
Yeah.
and take that and go back to caricatures and
Yeah.
say and make something beautiful on the
Yeah.
other end, you
Yeah.
know.
Do you have are you kind of continuing with that
Oh yeah,
side of things?
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And so I still do the whole 9 yards. Still draw the caricatures. Still do the cartoons. I even brought some gear here to do it here.
Oh, nice.
The danger is if I start, then there might be a line that ends up down the end
Yeah.
of the hall.
Yeah.
And so, and I know that sounds conceited. I don't mean it that way. The reality is caricatures are a humongous draw and can be very dangerous. Usually, hello, Leona. When I set up for an event that I've been hired for, I end up staying at the party for like an extra 2 hours trying to get done with the line
Wow.
of everyone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because they're wonderful. People want to
people
smile and
love 'em.
laugh. Yeah, exactly. So,
That was maybe even one
and
of
you
the...
know the yeah, you were
well,
doing caricatures too.
That was maybe one of the reasons why I even got into art.
Exactly.
Was because my parents each had a caricature that they had
Mm-hmm.
gotten done of in Vegas or something.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing those when I must have been like 5 or something.
Yeah.
And it was impactful.
Yeah.
Like I would look at those a lot.
Yes.
And then I think my mom noticed how much I liked them, and so she got me some books on caricature and that kind of stuff. And then yeah, I did set up as a like a 12 or 13-year-old and would do caricatures
That's awesome,
at
though,
different
man.
shows.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
See, me, I was at, where it really hit me, I was at SeaWorld with my
Okay.
family. And we were having a great time at SeaWorld, and I saw a caricature booth.
Yeah.
And I remember walking up and just watching this bald guy just do these weird sketches.
Yeah.
And I was mesmerized. And I heard people laughing.
Yeah.
And I saw when he would show it to them and how their eyes just sparkled.
I love that.
And yeah, exactly, the positive effects that you're having in that moment.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. I had to understand this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there was a certain point where I stood there for like 2 hours, and my parents came back later on. They're like, "Did you go and enjoy the rides? Did you have a good time?" I'm like, "I've been here the whole time, and I don't want to go. I don't want to go."
Yeah.
And the guy even got up, and he had some sketches that he had done, and he was taking them to the garbage can. And I think he was using like some kind of a crayon to do them. So obviously in his mind they're garbage, and he's about to throw them in the garbage. I literally ran over to him and I ripped them out of his hands at like 12 years old. And I said, "Were you going to throw these away?" And he's looking at me like, "What's wrong with you, kid?" And I said, "You're not throwing these away. I'm taking them. If they're garbage to you, I'm taking them." And I remember that started my training, my trend of trying to figure all that stuff out.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Makes me want to go.
Makes you want to go and do some
Look at-
caricatures, right?
Well, maybe practice first, or go look at some books. I don't think I have some of those old books that I had, but go look at some Norman Rockwell.
Oh, no, see, Norman Rockwell's my absolute favorite one.
Yeah.
Because he didn't claim caricature.
Yeah.
He never claimed caricature. What he claimed was personality
Yeah.
and action and cartoon and I have one of his books, and the incredible amount of work that he would put into one painting.
Yeah.
With all the pictures that he took, and
It's
oh
insane.
my land, it's insane.
Yeah, they're so fun to look at.
Yes.
To look at. They give a lot. Yeah.
Well, and
Same with Charlie.
Yes.
Charlie
Yep.
Russell.
Yep, absolutely.
That guy knew how to do awesome gestures and
Without having
expression and
without photos.
tell a story. Yeah.
This guy was doing it from his brain.
I know.
You're not us now. You see a bucking bronco, we take a picture of it, we go back and we paint it in our studio.
Yeah,
Charlie
and it doesn't have and that is actually something. Some of my landscapes lately have been I'm kind of making things up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but that's wonderful though.
because you look at Charlie's work and you just realize he made up the whole.
He made up the whole thing.
Ish, kind of. Like maybe some of the lightings and. He definitely was doing a lot of studying from life.
Probably a lot of sketches in the moment.
Yeah, sketches and that kind of thing, and taking notes on the color of light, how light rakes across the back horizon and stuff like that, and the color of the landscape going down.
And that man had
sagebrush and all that.
That man had to kill at doing figure drawings.
Yeah.
That man had to kill at figure drawings.
Yeah.
I am at the moment. I'll get to you a little bit later, all right?
No, we can.
No, that's right. She's my neighbor.
Okay.
She sees me every day. She watches my house every day.
Oh, nice.
she's our security for the neighborhood.
Oh, nice.
No, but honestly, it's really, really amazing to see what you can be capable of. I just had two young ladies walk up as I was just putting some gesso around a couple of these, and they're going, "I could never do this," and I'm like, "Wrong answer, wrong statement.
Wrong.
If you have the desire, we can do anything. We
Yeah.
can do this. You can do this. Do you think I'm 35 years old and I've only started painting oil in the last year?
Yeah.
Okay, you can do this.
Yeah.
If you're invested, you can do this.
Yeah.
So, what?
So awesome.
So what's next for you? Because obviously you're focusing on your art, full-time artist, doing this like crazy, and I'm glad you're getting back to you now. You're finding your center again.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next?
I'm gonna do I'm planning on doing a show at a gallery that I work with in Bozeman, Old Main Gallery, and the last I talked with Lindsay, the owner, our plan is to do August, do a solo show there.
Excellent.
Did one with Richie Carter last year, a 2-person show, and that went well. They've just been a great gallery. My work has kind of, I think, just fit into
What they've been doing up
meeting what their clientele
Awesome.
is looking for. And so there's that. There's a gallery down in Sheridan that my friend Kim Lassiter, she was collecting a lot from Montana Gallery over the years, and so I had gotten to know her just as a client and as a friend.
Yep.
Anyway, so she opened up a gallery out of her home down there, and so
Wow.
she's representing my work and Ken's work, a little bit of Rich. She's kind of working with our friend group. So she sold a few things for me, and so I just trying to focus on the 2 to 3 sort of galleries, opportunities that are presenting themselves to me
You feel
this
like
year.
you feel like you're starting from scratch a little bit?
No, not really.
It certainly is a redirection of your brain.
Yeah, I think just a focusing in on I guess I feel more peace lately.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
to
sure.
just,
I'm sure.
be able to. I mean, honestly, I don't know, the overhead of the gallery.
Oh, yes.
And of course, I was selling other people's work, but just I don't know, kind of the guilt of feeling as though, have I done enough to try to sell, Ken's work basically sells itself, but some of the other artists it's like, is there anything more that I could do? But honestly, there's always another email that could be sent or a phone call that could be made to try to sell something, and I wasn't doing that, but the kind of guilt of not doing that was catching up with me or something.
Right.
So I am not cut out to be doing that kind of work.
Well, let's just say that stage in your life has come to an end. It's time to move on to the next
think so.
stage.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing. That's
Yeah.
a wonderful thing. And you're bringing your friends along with you. You've made friends from all that movement.
Yeah.
It's not a mistake. It's a step.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And a wonderful thing that you can take pride in and learn from and move forward with.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thanks, Tim.
We would all hope for that. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe not owning a gallery, that sounds tough as heck, but certainly to surround yourself the way you have, to have people that support you, to have them call you when you're like, I might not do this show, and they're like, no, come on, we're gonna do this together. We're gonna all join and do this together.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, it's really
surrounded,
great.
and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's wonderful.
And I've really enjoyed getting to know you.
Likewise, Tim.
Really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
getting to draw you that day, and really enjoyed. Truly, you made a day where I was very embarrassed in myself, and you made it something absolutely incredible and beautiful.
Good.
So
Good.
And I blame you directly for that, because if your gallery was not there in that moment, it would have been a whole different story and a whole different day.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you and everyone you surround yourself with.
Thanks, Tim.
So please come and see his work. This is the longest podcast we've done, but that's simply because you really got to just come meet the whole gang, okay?
Yeah.
Each one of them, if you meet Tyler and you talk with him and you find yourself liking him, Just wait till you meet the rest of the gang too. They're all you'll find yourself with 1.5 million friends at the end of the day. So, where can everyone see your work? How do we help you sell?
Well, we still have MontanaGallery.net. So still selling occasionally on there, but Old Main Gallery in Bozeman, Ballard's Fine Art down in Sheridan, and eventually in Billings I'll be working with Kibler and Kirch Fine Art when they kind of get reopened sometime in the next year maybe.
Great.
Yeah.
So look them up. Look up those galleries. Go and check out Tyler Murphy. Make sure it's as you would expect it to be spelled.
Yep,
so make sure that you get in on that. Take a look at his
Instagram
work.
also is just the best,
And we're still
doing
here
that.
for 3 days.
Yeah.
We're still here
Oh,
for
God.
3 days. Hang in there, you got this, man. We're still here for 3 days. Please come and see his work for yourself. And I say this in every video I'm making. I'm making a thing of this. No social media, Tyler. I don't care how well you take a picture. No social media can give you the feeling of seeing a painting in person.
Absolutely.
There is emotion. There is something beautiful about seeing the individual brush strokes and feeling the work of the artist. So don't think that seeing his social media is going to cut it. You really got to come see the stuff in person. And when I say it can change your life, I speak from experience. Please come see all of our work. We've invested our lives in this.
This week really is like this whole everything that happens here in Great Falls in March. I tell every time I get back from this show and I'm in Billings, I tell all my friends that are maybe not necessarily into art, like okay, sometime you just gotta come up here, get a hotel room, because there's nothing quite like it So I mean, it's a crazy week. Everybody's super tired during and especially after it, but it's worth experiencing at some point in your life.
And my argument to that would be, think about the vacation that you've done where you've had an amazing vacation and it's just gone really crazy. You've had a great time and then you've gotten home and you've been exhausted from it and you need the vacation from the vacation. The line that I know you have all heard so many times, this is it for us. This is it for us. We are going to get home from this. Moving all of our stuff in and setting all this is like moving into a house.
I know, it's crazy.
And packing it all up and taking it all back is exactly the same way. But the reality is, in this moment, being with our friends is an emotional race.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. And it's just as incredible for the people just coming to be inspired or coming to buy, whatever the case may be. It's just as inspirational.
Yep.
We're willing to do the extra work for it. Cheers, my friend. And thank you, by the way, for the non-alcoholic Athletic Brewing Co. Cerveza stuff. This is good.
You got to stick to the non-alcoholic at the beginning of the day of these shows. Work your way into the alcoholic beverages as the day goes on.
That way you can hang it through the rest of the day. That way you're in there. Big thanks to Johnson Madison Lumber, our awesome sponsor of the podcast. Big thanks to them. If you're doing construction on your house, on your home, whatever the situation is, your dream, whatever you're thinking about, we'll get the lumber done right and get the knowledge from over 300 years of experience. Johnson Madison Lumber, jmlumber.com is the place to go. I got to tell you that this conversation is very comfortable when you get to sit in chairs like these. And believe it or not, Farron's Furniture has loaned us these two very comfortable chairs for the podcast.
Nice. I want one.
So I know I'm in the same boat right now. This chair is absolutely awesome.
Take a little nap.
Exactly. I'll finish up while he takes his nap. And then, so thank you very much to Farron's Furniture here in Great Falls. Please come and take a look. This is their stressless line of furniture. It's called the stressless line. Once you come and you sit down on one of these chairs, you'll see exactly why. And I am not kidding. I have a bad tailbone, and I can sit here for hours. I'm doing awesome right now. And then, of course, all the amazing shows, over 240-plus artists here at the Great Western Show at the Montana Expo Park for the next 3 days. Please do not miss out on the opportunity to be inspired. And honestly, I have to say, change your life. It happened to me, and that's why I'm saying it. So,
Tim, you're so good at this.
I am so terrible at this.
Being a host and everything. It's so good.
So we got more coming your way. Thank you so much. Podcast continues on. We're going to continue enjoying our non-alcoholic. No, are you sure about this?
Yeah.
So we got more coming your way here on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment. You know what to do, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Yeah, man.
Cheers, my friend. Woo-hoo.